Next on Worcester News tonight, a serious pedestrian crash in Spencer. Police say a National Grid worker was hit by a car. Plus, an armed robbery in Dudley. Police are looking for suspects who made off with cash and cigarettes. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemon. Storms passing through central Massachusetts this afternoon. Thunder and heavy rain hit parts of the area. This is video of the center of Millbury earlier this afternoon. The rain really coming down. A severe thunderstorm watch is in effect until 9 p.m. Let's get a first look at our local forecast to see what the rest of the evening has in store.
Well, good evening to you. I'm meteorologist Pamela Gardner. We had a loud evening across Worcester County, and additional isolated storms and showers continue to move through this evening, but will dissipate as the sun sets. We lose the daytime heating, and our little cold front will move through once we get into tomorrow afternoon. Our temperatures will stay in the 70s, but some rain-cooled air will help to cool off temperatures a little bit more so in a few communities. Down into the 70s after midnight, and we're drying off. Overnight tonight, we're down to 68 degrees across Worcester, Fitchburg 67 degrees. In Boston 74, and there's a risk for an isolated pop-up shower or storm across southeastern Massachusetts tomorrow afternoon, but here in Worcester we're keeping it dry. Partly cloudy skies and a high of 82 degrees. In our forecast, the storms will end early tonight and then we become less humid going into tomorrow. Definitely for Friday, you'll notice the dry air will be in place, plus we still cool off, and your 10-day forecast shows a little bit of a warming trend going into next week. See you in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Pamela. Developing news tonight, a National Grid worker is rushed to the hospital after being hit by a vehicle. It happened just before noon on Route 9 in Spencer. It's where we find our Chandler Walsh. She joins us live now with the details. Chandler.
Olivia, still no word on that National Grid worker's condition. Spencer police say he was hit while working in the eastbound lane here and thrown several feet in this direction. National Grid workers on scene hours after one of their own was hit by a car. Spencer police say 50-year-old Paul Germano was marking underground piping on Main Street when he was hit.
My daughter came down and said that she heard screaming from her window, and when she looked out, there was a person lying in the road.
Denise Cole and her daughter were home during the incident, which backed up traffic on Route 9.
2 ambulances, several police cars, National Grid.
Police say Germano was thrown about 40 feet and suffered serious injuries.
It's just terrible, terrible.
He and the driver, Madeline Polselli, were both transported to UMass. Brandy Kerboy lives by the Greenville Street intersection and says it's far too dangerous there.
I think it's posted like 35 because it's thickly settled over there. People probably go 60 up there. Like, you just hear flying 60 all the time.
Cliff Welsh often avoids the area, saying visibility over the hill is too low.
What they should do is make it a one-way street, just to the corner. That way they can turn around and go up a couple of streets and come back out. Be a lot safer.
Kerboy says it's a horrible accident, but isn't shocked it happened. She says it's a common spot for National Grid to work.
It's easy for them to pull over and cut someone's electric, anything. They don't have to go down the side roads, so.
Germano is a Dudley man. The driver is 60 years old and from North Brookfield. Spencer police say the Central Massachusetts Law Enforcement Council and drone units are assisting in the investigation. Live in Spencer, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
A pair of stolen Ferraris are found in Worcester more than a 3.5-hour drive where they were taken from. Worcester police say the cars, valued at a total of $625,000, were at this warehouse in the city. They were reported stolen earlier this month from Oyster Bay, New York. The keys were still inside the car. Police say a tracking device led them to the cars. Dudley police are investigating an armed robbery at a gas station late Tuesday night. Chief Stephen Wayner says luckily everyone is okay. They're asking for the public's help to track down the suspects. Our Brittany Schaefer joins us live now in Dudley with the latest. Brittany.
Olivia, the 2 suspects robbed Patriot gas station and were wearing dark clothing and covering their faces. Workers at the store say it was a scary and dangerous situation. Philip Patel's father was finishing his shift at Patriot Gas Tuesday night when two people robbed the convenience store at gunpoint.
I actually came right after it happened to pick him up because I gave him a ride home. He was shaken out.
Surveillance cameras show what is believed to be a man and woman entering the Dudley store, one armed with a silver handgun. The suspects were wearing dark clothing and covering their faces. Patel says he's thankful his dad wasn't hurt.
It was pretty quick. It's kind of scary because this is usually generally a safe area. We've never had this happen here before.
Dudley Police Chief Stephen Wayner says the store clerk did the right thing by obeying the suspect in a dangerous situation. He says they got away with some cash and cigarettes.
We did a search of the area, turned up nothing at the time, and we're looking at some leads, possibly a pickup truck involved. We're asking anybody if there's businesses or residents even along the street, if they can review their footage. If anything is of significance, we'd certainly love to be able to get access to it, because those types of things really are more prevalent in today's world, and so they do work to identify people or at least vehicles and things in a lot of cases and solve a lot of crimes.
Patel says the store has newer surveillance cameras and hopes the suspects are caught soon.
The police are really great. They were here like within 30 seconds after we called them, and we've had these cameras here for a pretty long time, and I hope they catch them or it helps finding them.
Chief Wayner says they are also working with Connecticut police on another robbery that could be connected. Anyone with any information is asked to call Dudley Police. In Dudley, Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
Worcester and Canal District businesses are working together to address parking concerns in the area. Polar Park may still be nearly 2 years away, but with all of the construction coming, parking will be affected. The city says they want to provide convenient access and parking options for both businesses and customers. 2 nearby parking lots are set to close Thursday evening. Some Canal District business owners have opened a parking lot on Washington Street and will offer a shuttle starting August 1st. For more information on construction and traffic closings, you can stay up to date at www.worcestercanal.com. A new device developed at WPI makes it possible to detect early-stage tumors, predict the course of cancer, and monitor the effects of therapy. The liquid biopsy chip detects circulating tumor cells in 100% of blood samples from stage 1 to 4 breast cancer patients. The chip is easily produced and captures living cells. The cells are then available for analysis. WPI says it could also be used to detect tumors at the earliest stages before they can metastasize.
We take blood and 8.5 ml blood, and we can actually be able to remove all the red blood cells, and we also get rid of all the white blood cells, and just when we put it on the chip, only the circulating tumor cells attach. So as a result, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. So we make the needle come to the surface and attach specifically, and as a result, it makes it much more easier to capture these cells.
And tests were run with blood samples from actual breast cancer patients and yielded 100% sensitivity for detecting circulating tumor cells. Congressman Jim McGovern is touring local farms to find out how they're being affected by climate change. Wednesday morning, he learned how maple syrup is made at Sap Castle at Overlook Farm in Rutland. The farm says the climate affects their sugaring season, changing when they tap each year. McGovern is on the House Agriculture Committee and says these visits show him what small and medium-sized farms deal with on a daily basis.
I do these tours, and I bring with me state and federal officials to figure out ways that we can be a little wind at the backs of some of these farmers. This is an operation here in Rutland that wants to expand. There are state and federal grants out there that they may be able to take advantage of.
McGovern is visiting 9 farms on his tour. He will continue on Thursday. The state of Massachusetts has a budget for the 2020 fiscal year. Governor Charlie Baker signed the spending plan at the State House. Governor Baker spent more than a week reviewing the budget. The new $43 million budget targets investments in education, housing, and the opioid crisis.
Result of 5 years worth of hard work between the folks in our administration and our colleagues in the legislature.
And the budget signing comes 31 days into the fiscal year. It also was just hours before a stopgap spending plan for state government was about to expire. Worcester Regional Airport getting a new jet bridge this week. It's the third jet bridge at the airport. Another arrives next week. By adding the jet bridges, the airport will be able to accommodate more flights. The goal is to double the number of passengers to 400,000 per year.
We are actively working with a number of airlines, both upstart airlines, existing airlines, low-cost carriers that like to fly to niche markets, and the legacy carriers that have hub and spoke options for customers that are able to fly to major markets and beyond with connecting opportunities.
And on Friday, Delta will start flights to Detroit. It will be the third airline to launch daily service from Worcester.